The Defamation of J. Proctor. Written and read by Wade Radford. Introduction. It isn't a free press. It is a press that is coerced and obliged to print, act, and spread the word of politicians, advertisers, and CEOs. It isn't a kind press that digs out a hole in the ground and drives average persons toward untimely deaths for gossip and entertainment's sake. It isn't a reasonable press that mocks so-called celebrities of reality television, printing their lives and belittling them when potentially their only crime is being too stupid to know better. It isn't a fair press that slowly lifts an individual to heights of adoration and acclaim, only to then take them to slaughter. The rise and fall spin. It could be fair to assume that the real monsters running those presses, who hire minions to obtain the news, look for qualities in journalists, including narcissism, and then take advantage of their own delusions of grandeur. It is a typical press that ignores certain genocides, slavery, and humanitarian crisis, if it is not within the own interests of certain nations. A real free press would take all to account who partake in human oppression wherever in the world it is found. It isn't a free press whose master, wage payer, and deity is in bed with those at the epicenter of scandal. 1. This bloated stomach cannot take it, the rash appearing on the derma, the exhaustion deep within, from skin and bone and sin. They've taken all of this. They want for so much more. Blood and mucus, gas and bloating, and they say that I am coping. But the ache just seems to spread. I've scratched the word in red. So you've ate at my table, consumed the wine and bread, jotted down the words I said, then grazed upon the feast. You took the nutrients, laughed at my inanition, teased me with forks and knives, then dived into the archives, laid bare out all my history, nibbled, gobbled, tasted. I'm malnourished by your greed, you eating brain and cock and liver. You wrote me up a criminal, eyed me up a fool. You, attention-seeking, like you hold me within your palm, like the voice of the community, announcing all my sickness, but you are like a case of Munchausen's. It is your name you want so bright, at the expense of my name, that you dim out all my light. You are feeding on an organism to endure your lack of substance. If you send me into martyrdom, then you solidify a truth, that I may be the martyr right, but you are still the parasite. 2. The case of killers. They put them on the world stage, kept you turning the page, consuming all that rage. The killer now of infamy, written about by other crooks, who are plotting books and movies. They covered all the questioning. They cover trial through sentencing, create a public consensus, trial then by media. No one then can be sure, the truth central at the core. Then the journo takes their pay, and so paves themselves the way for further books and movies. 3. He sat vilified, JP. They didn't know him, or all the good deeds shared, or the soul, the compassion, the strong sensibilities. JP was a picture, invoking thought from word. JP a son, a teacher, a sympathetic soul. JP was not avaricious, fan of the big spin, a follower who believed the word, any word, shrewd, astute, commentating on passing trends, seeing lies within the written ink. SM was a bulldog, damaging women's lib, a true bleating sheep, bleating any spin, Already an investigated criminal, thrown down the Hall of Fame, fallen from national print, now a local reporting parasite, damaging local citizens, bile splashed about, yet deluded to really think she was a spokesman of the people. JP isn't of suspicious lies. His everything worn on tattered sleeves. How dare a gutter rat pass judgment? Her infamy is deception. He writes so inconspicuously, you write so very loud. SM, you make such noise, yet you aren't really saying anything. Fools always holler loudest. 4. He stands in scraggly knickerbockers, kicking rain water up the street, a haul of papers upon his back. Read all about it. The impoverish finish the grind and swarm toward a reading room, a dimly lit, wheat barley scented inn that has a rag to read. They call it the radical press in a time of knickerbocker sale boys, and if the revelations couldn't be gagged, then the sale taxes would increase. 5. I've got celebrities on recycle. Same noise filling the vacuum. Repeated marriage failures, gossip on the columns. Same noise, same noise, same noise. I've got the same leader on a podium. Same promises on repeat. Time almost in rewind. Left and right on the columns, same debate, same debate, same debate. I've got these arbitrary voices. I couldn't even tell you their names. Just mudslinging across paper. Same spurious bullshit in the columns. Same journalist, same journalist, same journalist. We've got the same nonces running media, backstabbing each other at every given chance. Different generations of children, coerced into their limelight. Then they expose each other in the columns with the same pain, same pain, same pain. I've got monarchs on the rob. I wish I didn't know their names. Cutting ribbons, smiling devils, running wine as fuel on cars. They are applauded in the columns with the same patriotism, same patriotism, same patriotism. I've got 50 pence in my account. Have you seen this fucking inflation? Yet they write how I can save. They call it a cost of living crisis. Martin Lewis, a purported saviour in the columns, with the same strain, same strain, same strain. I've got a mind inside my skull, though they'd have you think I didn't. They make all the decisions, paid for votes and paid for inches of nonsense in the columns. Same story, same story, same story. 6. Click here. You won't believe what they look like now. 30 years since that role, you know. Can you believe they look older? Did you know they aren't famous now? They work to make a living. We earn off this shameless exposure, their only crime being to have aged. So let's embarrass this former star, just getting on with their life, but we earn the clicks, then the advertisers' revenue, all done at the expense of a man. You won't believe what he looks like now. 7. In the case of JP, he couldn't believe the speculative account. How someone who doesn't know someone can merge and paste and copy words, twist them together, the big spin, a fictitious spin, which within lies some basis of truth, but then mercilessly distorted without research, without knowledge, without observation. With SM, she has made a job of simply riding the wave of internet, surfing upon the edge, releasing limited fact, hypothetically talking. Each line is speculative, each line is preposterous, embellishing basics. Bitch don't know a thing. Why stir a pot when the soup is still? Poison the brew when it'll make folk ill. But that is clickbait journalism. That is revenue margins. When the headline doesn't correspond with the words upon further inspection, that is business. People fall apart in this boring fight, gossip-laden media, when there is no basis of fact for the lies that have been written. My pain is your business. Your pain is their business. JP's pain is our business. You are just one misworded news account from complete annihilation. 8. Deprivation has been the written recipient of callous headline opinion. Yet you'll join in the pomp and pageantry of those who help to keep you poor. They kept you working. They kept you amused with scandal about the pittance from your taxes that the most needy receive in aid. The poor didn't pull the purse strings. Those of sickness didn't sit upon their laurels, yet you listen and begrudge the scraps thrown for the ill and infirm. You are listening to the wrong word, persecuting the wrong man. You are listening to the written words of those with their hand dipped in the till. 9. Children, you're going to be on the news, the teacher enthusiastically proclaims. The children run around losing their heads. Mama will see me on the TV. So they roll out the red carpet for a journalist they'll never even know. How exciting, how exciting, how exciting, children. And so the stage is set. An early indoctrination that the news carries the word, that the children should believe the television, that if it is in print, then of course it is fact. And that, children, is rarely the case. 10. In the case of JP, I feel it defamation, complete libel without reason, but in this case of JP, defamation's a funny fucker. If I was a rich man, then you have defamed me, nothing short of sensational slander. But as a poor man, I cannot afford to touch you, so in law only the rich are really defamed. I cannot take you on. You know I cannot. So the sensational story spills. My photographs stolen and printed, my privacy invaded and exploited. If I was a man of wealth, then would it have been the defamation of J. Proctor? But as it is, and as poor as I am, the press prints hot. The law's not equal. The law is a schmuck. And so the so-called press does to the poor man what they conjure up in a kangaroo court, stepping lightly around those who can take them on, stepping on top of those that cannot. I feel injustices so very passionately, but that is irrelevant to a cashless court case. 11. He stands up to the podium proudly asserting his narrative, updating you on his war. He postulates on liberty and freedom. The crooks stand before him, giving him airtime. The news, the thugs, complicit in the genocide of men. You read it, you paid for it, you slurped it. It's a display of vigorous strength, the wet dream of a sociopath. They printed it, they ran with it. They drive fear deep within the innocent, urging readers to comply. They help form a line of poor cannon fodder, lined up bodies of former labourers in bags. If they printed it, they complied. They did it for the money. But while they pap the rich, spread the lies of the elite, the leader bankrolls further weapons. In news conferences talking of growing ammunition, He just spills it out like it's nothing. It is just a casual manufacture. Be assured he rests easy in the knowledge that it is your children who will die for him. Outro. If the press is truly free, and by free we would like to assume fair, then why are headlines devised so carefully when directed against the wealthy and so ruthlessly against the poor? This isn't a genius revelation, but simple fact.